free speech and his liberties. This is a book for anyone who believes that no government should censor speech nor use its power to intimidate people from speaking freely. And while this is a book where Michael Savage voices many of his conservative opinions, it is not a book just for conservatives. Free speech is at risk because powerful forces do not want to be criticized. The Department of Homeland Security is issuing reports that intimidate opposing political speech. These reports associate conservatism with terrorism. The Fairness Doctrine may be imposed in order to cripple talk radio. They're not calling it the Fairness Doctrine anymore. They're calling it localization. They're calling it diversity. Let me tell you something. The First Amendment is not being honored by the Obama administration. What do others say? Evgeny Morozov, Foreign Policy, says a decision to ban Savage from entering the UK triggered more than a viral tide. It triggered a viral tsunami. I didn't write that. He did. There are others. There are many others. I don't want to read every one of them. Here's Nancy Pelosi's quote. Conservative radio is a huge threat and political advantage for Republicans, and we have had to find a way to limit it. Nancy Pelosi quoted. You hear this? Can you believe this? But what do the conservatives in Britain say? Here's Michael Fabricant, member of the British Parliament, says, the things of which Jackie Smith accuses Mike Savage are also illegal in the United States of America, and he has not faced prosecution there. Does she realize how ludicrous her ban is and the disrepute into which she has put this country in the eyes of many right-seeing and indeed left-seeing people in the United States? I didn't write that. He did. Boris Johnson, London Telegraph, says, the ban against Savage makes us look so infantile, so pathetic. What are we, some sort of kindergarten that needs to be protected against these dangerous American radio shows? Here's Ellis Washington, journalist. Where is the outrage from all the big-name conservative media giants like Fox News, Rush, Hannity, O'Reilly, Glenn Beck, National Review, Weekly Standard? Other than one unremarkable short TV segment by O'Reilly and two excellent short stories by Bret Baier at Fox News, there is only the vexing sound of crickets chirping. There are many others. You can go on my website and read it. I'm very proud of all of them. Here's a really good one. The UK is now targeted by subway and bus bombing Muslims, marching in London streets chanting death to Great Britain and the West. Parliament does nothing to Muslims, acting against the inciters of bloodshed who would incite Islam. Instead, Michael Savage is a dangerous man, they say. Be careful if you are on the same plane as he. The PhD scientist might talk to you about the greatness of freedom, civil rights, and New York pizza while explaining the beauty of Brazilian rainforest botany. Oh, yes, Dr. Savage is precariously treacherous, so writes Lisa Richards in The Desert Conservative. SavageGate is the latest example of the Labor government's refusal to recognize that the only real threat to our country is from Muslim terrorists. They have gone out of their way with the help of the BBC, which almost never mentions the I word whenever some loser gets caught with bomb-making equipment, to deny that Islamic terrorism, while not supported by most British Muslims, is still Islamic, says Ed West, The Telegraph. You get. Even the ACLU came out on my side. Even the ACLU. So that's the story. This is the most definitive work in recent years about the threat to free speech and the looming threat of censorship by the globalist multicultural elite. These self-appointed leaders cannot stand to have their critics point this out. Critics who believe in the integrity of national borders and the preservation of a nation's language and culture. The government and media are corrupt and unable to deal with truly independent speech. Both the Bush and Obama administrations have and are extending corruption rather than dealing with it, all with the complicity of the media. Michael Savage was the first victim, but others, maybe even you, will soon follow. Fighting back can work, and it must be done. This is the definitive work about the fight for free speech. Read it and buy a copy for your friends. It's on michaelsavage.com. You cannot buy it in a bookstore, unfortunately, because I am banned not only in Britain, I am banned on Publishers Row. Now let's go to the callers. Love the callers. Love them all. San Diego Liz, thanks for waiting. You're up on the air.
Hi, Dr. Savage. Just wanted to say I'm a proud conservative and a huge fan of yours here in California.
Well, where are you? In San Diego, the land of the illegal alien?
Yes, absolutely.
I pity the police in San Diego and Los Angeles, San Francisco, and other border areas. I just pity them because we have some very brave people willing to do their job, but they're curtailed by the Obama administration and their own cities from actually doing the job to protect the people. Here in San Francisco, we had a mother lose her two sons and her husband all at once to an illegal alien who had been released by the mayor and by the district attorney. Do you know that he shot them dead because he mistook them for gang members? They were unbelievable, shot dead. I made a contribution to to her fund. Nothing was done to alter the policy of a so-called sanctuary policy in San Francisco. It is still a magnet for illegal aliens. So you have to ask yourself, who does the mayor work for? Who does the district attorney answer to? Certainly not the voters. If you read that conservatives now outnumber liberals in 50 states, according to a Gallup poll, then why is it that DAs and mayors continue to pander to illegal aliens who are not even citizens? You know? Now, on Friday, I got to tell you something. Let's go back to the news. If you think I just want to, I'll do it again. Why are we in Afghanistan? No answer. Obama gave a speech today to the VFW. It was a horrible speech. It was an embarrassment. Do you know what he did during this speech? He made it sound as though every veteran who returns from Iraq or Afghanistan is a stumble-bum homeless drug addict. Classic left-wing ACLU media lies. Listen to clip 6. Sorry, go ahead.
The VFW well knows, for so many veterans, the war rages on. The flashbacks that won't go away, the loved ones who now seem like strangers.
What?
The heavy darkness of depression that has led to too many of our troops taking their own lives.
Liar, pants on fire. Stop it right there. This is the same crap that the illiberal left put out about Vietnam. It was a very small number of men who wound up in the gutter from Vietnam. And it's an insult to every Vietnam veteran who came back and built their lives and built their families. They don't want to hear this garbage that every veteran comes back as a psycho on LSD in the gutter. But that's what he did. He goes to the VFW. But it was even more disgraceful. He was there to talk about the strength of the military. You know who he talked about? A typist for Eisenhower. He put her in the same category as a Medal of Honor winner. Listen to clip 1.
This wasn't on my original card, but this is just an extraordinary story, and you may have already heard from her, but I just want to publicly acknowledge and thank Ms. Helen Denton, the secretary to Dwight Eisenhower, who typed up the orders for the Normandy invasion and is here today.
All right, turn it off. Can you believe the lack of judgment of Barack Hussein Obama? That he would take a typist and glorify her as though she was Private Ryan landing on the beaches at Normandy. She was a typist in Eisenhower's pool. He's already putting her on a pedestal with the Private Ryans of the world. All the men who stormed the beach at Iwo Jima, Okinawa, Saipan, Guam. Same category as the typist for Eisenhower. Every one of them is equal. See, to the liberal, everything is equal. There's no discernment. There's no differential. Everything's equal. Typist is equal to a war hero. Now you understand that the man actually, when he gets off script and does not read a teleprompter, is not that smart. Not that smart at all. In fact, he always looked to me like Alfred E. Newman. Always looked to me like Alfred E. Newman in Mad Comic. And I'm not ashamed to tell it to you. But put aside my being comedic in the political arena, if you want to call it comedic. The man, if the election were held today with the voter remorse that this man has induced in this country, the corruption is worse than it was under Bush. The backroom deals, the czars, the takeovers. There is great voter remorse in the United States of America. Now you say to me, talk about the health care debate. I did on Friday. I'll give it to you again in about 30 seconds. Why are you not hearing that any health care reform should exclude treatment, free care for illegal aliens? Tell me one American who believes that he wants to pay out of his taxes a gold-plated health care system for illegal aliens and their children. Name one person who really wants to do that. I haven't met one yet. I don't care if they're liberal or conservative. They know they can't afford it. They know it's going to steal health care from them. Number 2, tort reform. Tell me why, in all the discussion, not one newsman will talk about reining in the lawsuits, controlling the medical malpractice claims to $250,000, cap it at that, as it is in California, to stop the leeches and the vampires called lawyers. Tell me why you don't hear that on Fox News even. Answer. Because the boards of even Fox News, of News Corporation, if you look at them carefully, you will see an interlocking group of corporate directors. They go from News Corporation to pharmaceutical firms. They're all over the map. One hand must protect the other. That's why you don't hear it. So you hear all this debate in town hall meetings. Yeah, it's good, wonderful. And that's because people are afraid that they're going to lose their coverage. They're not really there for the bigger principle. The people who were screaming out were all genuine, but it was all about they were afraid they were going to lose their coverage, which they have now. That's basically all it was. It was nothing more than that. But where was the outrage about illegal aliens being covered? Where's the outrage about lawyers sucking the system dry for billions and billions of dollars every year? Where is that? Those are two things we can do to stop the spiraling costs. You hear costs are out of control. Of course they are. Cut the greed out. Cut the lawsuits down to $250,000 top. Cut out all health care for illegal aliens. There's two good ideas. Did you hear about that last night on the debate? No, and you won't. You won't. You'll hear about it on the Savage Nation, which is why I've been targeted by the New World Order. They just don't want the truth. Sure, I was banned in Britain. That's only the beginning. If you think that's the end of it, you're crazy. I'll be right back.
Savage. On the air, online, and on the go. This is Talk 910 KNEW.